Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Wednesday morning trading room. Hang on here one second. We'll get the screen share going on. Wild ride in the market yesterday. We really didn't end up going anywhere on the day, but my goodness, it was a big day. Just a big day up and down here. We'll take a quick review here on the Eagle. You can see where trading left off yesterday was somewhere around the 69.40, 69.50 area where the market spent much of the day. You can see a wild rally going into the close. And then, of course, this was most of the afternoon session, just back and forth choppiness. A little bit of a quiet start here to the morning and just a tiny little opening gap below us. I don't think that's going to have too much influence on the market. Right now, the Eagle kind of poised with a more bearish band. We're waffling on the other tools as well. The hawk here now very, very sideways. Lots of yellow bars, kind of printing at more or less the same price level. Likewise here on the Raptor, the Falcon, lots of back and forth. The filter all broken up. And the Raptor also a little conflicted here. Although, like the Eagle, the band stacked in a more bearish fashion. I think it's probably prudent that we wait a little bit. I think was not 69.70 near yesterday's highs. Looks like we have a resistance line printing at around 69.75. So there's going to be, I think, perhaps a little bit of selling pressure try to come into the market. If I had to choose at this moment, I would definitely be more bearish because that's the way the tools are all stacked at this time. But as I mentioned before, you need to take the context into account. You need to take the whole chart into account, not just focus on the last 3 or 4 bars, as many people have a tendency to do. All right, well, we're getting a little bit of candy striping going on here in the background highlights. Again, that's all telling you that for the most part, the market a little bit neutral, a little balanced. Excuse me. All right, looks like they may try at the top end now. We do have a little bit of a, well, we've got a big trading range going on, and then inside that big trading range, we have a little trading range as well. So this is how I would probably view the market. And you know that when the market is in a trading range, or you suspect it's in a trading range, you're going to see buying occur around the bottom third, bottom quarter of the range. Sellers are going to be up here, the top third, top quarter. And that whole notion repeats itself in a smaller range as well. That's why very often, if you think the market is in a sideways trading range, what you want is you want to allow it to break out, retest, and then look for that signal to prove that the market is actually going to stay outside of the trading range. Very often what happens is after the breakout, the market retreats and just goes back into the range, which is bad enough, or makes a full-on reversal. We've all been a part of those trades. Okay, maybe slightly more bullish now. The hawk into green bar is actually producing a first micro macro cross and now a macro pullback signal. The falcon also doing a trend change signal. The eagle may be a very sloppy rule of three. And then we have here on the raptor an early cloud crossover. This will not print as a number one signal. But as I've mentioned before, you want to learn to identify your signals independent of the signal prompts. Partly so you can anticipate them, and partly so you can take advantage of situations where the signal may not be developing perfectly in line with the programming, but that doesn't negate the signal. We're still just happy to chop back and forth here, so we'll just sit and wait and watch. Excuse me. All right, still back and forth, still sideways. The temptation is when the market is congested like this to bracket, and a bracket is a viable alternative. As I mentioned, though, there is a chance for the false breakout. If we had bracketed the early range, we would have seen a false breakout. If you waited for the open, I guess your range would look like this. This is the high after the open. All right, well, let's see here. So we're going to turn on the OCO function. I don't want to crowd this trade. Remember, when you're using your OCO, you're going to right-click on the chart to enter your orders. And I want to give the market a little bit extra above the highs and lows. I do not want to be brought in by a tick or two only to watch the market reverse. Remember, there is going to be buying down here at the lows. And a lot of buyers will be waiting just for the market to break and then try to rally the market up. Okay, so we got the break. Let's see if they try to rally it up now. See, there they are. All right, so stops need to go above the other end of this trading range, at least initial stops, and then you can look to adjust them if the breakout sticks. But we'll see here in a moment how much easier it would be to trade after the breakout and the retest rather than get into the trade at this point and now we're wringing our hands. Oh dear, did I get into this trade too early? Should I have waited? Now, eventually the breakout will stick. There's no question. But as a good trading friend of mine always used to say, never trust a breakout. He was adamant about making sure once the market gets outside of a range, make sure it stays outside that range. Now, personally, I think bearish posture this morning is probably going to work out a little bit better. But look at where we are. We're right back in this whole 69.50 zone that the market really reacted to yesterday. Just a very sensitive number overall. Now, you can even consider this as a retest. We're about halfway back inside the trading range. I certainly do not want to see it trade any higher than that because all that's going to do is reinforce that we are inside this trading range. But look, if you deemed this to be the breakout and this now to be the retest, look, you could place your entry below those lows and have a much higher probability trade than trying to trade the initial breakout. So this is likely where the sellers are looking. And again, if you remember the little trading channel that I did, this is where the sellers are. They're going to be kind of in that top third. Buyers are going to be in the bottom third. And the middle third, well, that's just neutral. Nobody really controls that. See, and there you go. This is why trading breakouts is so difficult. Well, the luxury of a trading room moderator, I can show you things like that as we wait for a decent signal to show up. But that's why it's so important to gain context on the day, right? You want to know, is the market trending? Is the market sideways? What's going on with the market today? And, you know, as I pointed out before, the danger with the breakout move is, okay, this was the high of the morning, this was the low of the morning. Then we saw the breakout, and look at what happened. You got the major reverse, and now it's looking like the market's true intention was bullish. But we didn't know that at the time. At the time we got the breakout, we didn't know that the market could be bullish. It's still not bullish, though. We still don't know whether this breakout now is going to stick or whether the market's just going to make a larger, broader trading range, right? Because now the trading range looks like this. How will we know, class? How will we know if the market is truly breaking out of this trading range? We're going to wait for the retest. So the retest, so long as it doesn't get way down here, you know, ideally the retest is going to bounce somewhere near the top half. I could see a hard edge bounce. That would be acceptable. I don't want to see it drift down here, or halfways is kind of dicey. Sometimes it will work, sometimes it won't. But if the market recovers somewhere up here, early after the breakout, that will suggest to me that the buyers are in fact in control, and now we can look for a buying opportunity. We can look for a buy signal. And this is where some of these discretionary signals come into play as well. You know, the ones that don't qualify as one of our high probability signals, nevertheless, they do give us a chance to get into the market because it shows us that the programming parameters have still been met. Now, the eagle is into the hard edge. If it rallies here, we're going to get a buy signal. We're going to get a buy signal here from the raptor as well. The hawk into yellow bars already, so they need to start pushing the market higher here in order to qualify for a 4-arrow consolidation, or perhaps now a red bar buy. So here on the hawk, if you wanted to get a head start on that possible move higher, remember the breakout is not confirmed yet. But the hawk is saying, hey, Eric, you got yourself a 4-arrow consolidation if you want it. Now, again, here's the thing with the hawk, right? It's a scalping tool. So you're going to try to take advantage of smaller moves. I think they slipped me a tick there as well. I'll see if I can get that tick back. But again, the breakout not fully confirmed yet. We're here on the hawk. We're kind of jumping the gun a little bit. There's that same range that we're looking at. Okay, now we've got a 4-arrow consolidation and a red bar buy signal. And a lot of pressure on the buyers now. If we can trade above the high of this bar right here, I think I'm going to get a little bit more aggressive with my stops, because it's going to be essentially the last chance for the buyers to get the market outside of this trading range. If they fail to do so, then the market's probably going to retreat back into the trading range. All right, here they go again, trying to get outside the trading range. Just look at how the prices, how sticky they are at these trading range high and lows. Doesn't look like there's a lot of activity going on here this morning. Are we waiting on some sort of report? Let me check the reports calendar. No, not really. And you can see how, the breakout not confirmed yet. And what happens? The market slips right back inside the trading range. I placed my stop a little below halfway. We had this little swing here, but it looks like it's going to tag me out. The best stop is below the lows. Well, if nothing, if we don't get a decent trade going on today, at least you can see the problem with trading or trying to trade trading ranges. And this is why so many people get in trouble trading. They jump the gun, they get in too early. Okay, so now we're testing the bottom end. And the trading range almost looks like it's like this. It's what some traders refer to as an expanding triangle or a megaphone. If you see these develop at the end of a trend, it's a sure sign of a reversal. But we don't have a trend, do we? I don't think so. Not for at least the last 10 hours or so. All right, well, let's put that on the shelf for now. Days like this are frustrating because of the constant back and forth, and also because when the breakout does come, it's probably going to be quick and rather pronounced. So almost like adding insult to injury, you can sit here and you can watch and wait, or end up taking a couple stink bomb trades, trying to trade the breakout. And then when you finally do get involved, when the market finally does make a break, you don't have a chance to get involved. Everything just moves too fast. So it's almost one of those you pays your nickels, you takes your chances kinds of deals. And here we are again sitting at around 69.50. The market not moving all that far off that number. So just when you think the market gets bullish, it turns on its heels and gets bearish. A lot of overlapping prices here. If we were looking at a time-based chart, it would be the same thing. You would have, regardless of what you're looking at, 5-minute bars or 15-minute bars, they would be seriously overlapping each other at this point. Nothing really resembling a trend. All right, well, we've got ourselves another 4-arrow consolidation building here. I would like to see a little bit of a pullback and perhaps another sell signal, just in case traders are still viewing the market this way. This would be now the breakout, right? And we're looking for a retest and a recommitment on the part of the sellers. If I get a good second push opportunity, if the market rallies up from here, from these lows, I would consider shorting the lows. But so far, we don't have that. A nice little hard edge bounce here would be very welcome. All right, here we go. Here now, that big second push I was talking about, this trade might be worth trying. We're kind of on the ending moments of opening range. And we've got a decent second push. We know 69.47 seems to be holding. My entry a little bit tight here. You could offer up another tick or two, but it looks like they're going to need something momentum-wise to bring me in here. Let's see here. Dan's asking on the Falcon. Is that signal on the Falcon your retest? Well, here's the thing with the test and retest, Dan. To answer your question, yes, I think it might be. But sometimes when the market breaks out, these retests can occur very quickly like this, or sometimes they can be really drawn out. The market can go like this, and then it may take the rest of the morning for the market to retest and then finally settle in on a direction. So unfortunately, there's no hard and fast rules. Sometimes the retest will come very quickly, and sometimes it will take a long time. Best way to see this is actually just to go back through your charts and see what happens. See what happens. Find yourself a little bit of a trading range and see what happens when the market breaks out. See, so that was not a true breakout either, was it? The market broke out, came back, and went right back inside the trading range. So what if we make the trading range like that? Okay, so here's the breakout now, the retest. That one's stuck for a little bit, but really not all that long. Let's see if I can find you a good one. Boy, oh boy, there's no shortage of breakouts here. Let's try to find one that sticks. Well, here's one that was kind of textbook. This is one of those quick breakouts that I was mentioning. Quick breakout, quick little retest. But I'm going to extend this zone and let's just see what happens when prices get back there. Oh my goodness. Okay, so there they go. They're finally back there. And, well, they fell off a little. No. They do get stale as well. I did mention that, sometimes it may take minutes to break out. Sometimes it may take hours. But they do get stale. These breakout zones do lose their effectiveness. I would say if it hasn't retraced, within an hour, it's probably not going to. I was hoping that one came up here somewhere, but it didn't. Anyways, I won't bore you with scrolling back through the chart, but you should do it anyways. You should find situations where the market establishes a zone and just see for yourself how it handles the breakout. All right. Okay, looks like it got filled and the market took me out at the around the break-even mark. On the Raptor trade here. So I was looking for resumption of the downtrend. Looks like the market brought me in. Don't think it hit the profit target and then came up here and took me out at break even. Looks like we're getting a little bit of slippage as well, which tells me there's not a whole lot in the way of market participation, which will also lead to a sideways market. And there's really nothing you can do but sit and wait. Yeah, see, here they are. We're still in this expanding wedge, if you will. Now, what tends to happen in these types of situations is what's happening is we're breaking down below the lows And so there's a very good chance the market's going to try to establish a downtrend here. It's not guaranteed, but that's kind of the way I would say we're leaning at the moment. But we're still waiting. Okay, so what we got going on now, this little bit of a pullback, I would consider to be a retest of the breakout. If I got a sell signal here, you can see the Eagles already producing the warning dot. This one might be worth trying if, of course, the market breaks down. If not, we're just going to keep waiting. Let me draw this zone back on here. All right, so we're back into the zone. I do not want to see the market get too high on this retest. The deeper it gets into the zone, the more neutral it becomes, and the more problematic a sell will become. Yeah, see, look at what's going on here. See the breakout? Still not confirmed. The market's still not committed. So what can you do? There's nothing you can do. You just have to wait. If you get in too early, either long or short, you're sweating the trade, hoping that the market heads off in your direction. I was hoping that the market would have a little something going on this morning. I do need to close the trading room at the bottom of the hour. I have to call the accountant, and the only time he could meet with me was 7:30. But I suppose there's some benefit in seeing how sometimes you just have to sit here and wait the market out. Or you can flip a coin. That's always good. Heads we buy, tails we sell. Well, so are they going to try to get more bullish now? It's hard to say. Still sideways, still back and forth. You know, there were a couple opportunities here in the hawk, especially as this trading wedge keeps expanding. And we're going to hit a point, and I think we may be there, where this trading wedge may actually develop into more of a trading channel. Now, you know, traders are always frustrated because they say, well, which is it, Eric? Is it a trading wedge or is it a trading channel? Well, you don't know. That's the thing about trading is you'll know all this in hindsight, right? You can go back here and you can say, oh yeah, right. We had this really nice, this is how textbooks get written. We had this really nice trading channel and look at how nicely it respected the channel, broke down the bottom end and came up and hit the trend line and now it established a trading range the other way, unless it doesn't, and then it will show us something else. Trading is, you know, there's a lot of analogies between trading and gambling because both deal with future events, both deal with a lot of uncertainty. But the fact of the matter is you're never going to have all the answers. There's going to come a time you're going to need to make a decision based on what you see. If you think the market is working this sideways trading range, and as we get toward the top end of the trading range, if we produce a sell signal, then go ahead and sell it. You can see here on the Eagle, this isn't going to qualify as one of our high probability signals, but it is still a green bar sell. Right? We got a green bar with a sell signal. So if it comes down here and produces a sell signal and you think, I think this market is developing a sideways or a descending trading channel, then go ahead and sell it. That's why, the trade manager protects you. Well, it's only going to risk a certain portion of your capital. So if you are wrong, at least you haven't blown up your account. And I think that's really important. You don't want to, you may be wrong about a trade. We're all wrong about trades, but you don't want to ruin your account. So let's just see if we get a sell signal here. And you can do the same thing on any of the tools, right? Let's say you're looking here at the Falcon or even at the Raptor. If we happen to get a signal to sell, then you could get on board with that. I'm going to stay here with the Eagle, see if it follows through. Things just moving so slow today. Okay, we have the warning dot, no signal yet. So all the trade parameters not quite met. I'll get ready here on my sell button. Now this is totally counter trend because you can see the Eagle band is already turning bullish. But this is sometimes how you need to look at the market when you get these kinds of days. Are you going to give me the sell signal? Oh, see here the Raptor already producing one. The Hawk actually producing a red bar buy. Now the red bar buy is a signal that you can short the failure of. Right? You can set up to short it if the market trades now below the lows. So the Hawk already producing a signal to sell. Oh my gosh, it's just brutal here this morning. All right, I'm going to delete that. And now we have our Eagle signal that I've been waiting on. So we can look to set it up. It would also be something like this. And I may be totally wrong about this. But here's just a couple of scenarios. If this is what I believe the market is doing, then, I plan my trade accordingly. It's a little bit of a pushback now as the buyers are thinking, no, this is still a sideways range. This is where the buying came in before, right? This is where they rallied it before. They rallied it here. So the buyers are going to try to rally it once more. If the buyers don't have what it takes, this could have some pretty decent follow through to it, actually. I'm going to engage my stops here on the hawk. I should probably here on the eagle as well. All right, I've got both trades at break even now. Yeah, Scott says break even plus 2, double your profit. Well, might have been a little bit quick here with the break even on the Eagle trade. Just got the break even tag. We'll see if the Hawk one has a little bit more follow through, but I think it's just going to be that kind of day today. A lot of back and forth as traders try to get some sort of direction going on. Okay, well, unfortunately with the Eagle, I did get tagged a little bit early, but the Hawk trade having a little bit more success here. Well, maybe I spoke too soon. All right, gang, as I mentioned, I've got an appointment at the bottom of the hour, so I'm going to have to close up shop here in a few moments. If you have any questions, please ask away. Tomorrow is Thursday. Well, hopefully tomorrow the market will be a little bit more responsive. It is a short work week with the Memorial Day holiday on Monday. All right, well, there you go. If you are going to hang out here for the rest of the day, like I said, expect more of this sideways mess to continue until the market actually breaks out. I will talk to you tomorrow. Have yourselves a wonderful day. Bye for now.